Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no-bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that bills Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants aren't getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Stop Double Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing, mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks that new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible. He converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether there's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
All right, everybody. The weekend's over. Let's get back to work, because that's what we do. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where we talk about the daily news, what's happening in the world, breaking news, and all kinds of stuff that is interesting to at least a few people. That'd be you. And I'm so glad you're here. Happy Monday, the 23rd of February, 2026. I have now been married 33 years and one day, because yesterday was me and Lady Boomer's anniversary. We had a lovely time. My daughter called us up Saturday, and she's like, "Hey, I kind of had some surprise plan for Lady Boomer. We were gonna go do some day tripping like we do often." But then my daughter called us on Saturday and said, "Hey, we'd like to take you out to brunch for your anniversary." And we're like, "Oh, well, any chance to go see the grandbabies is a grand thing." And so we decided to do that. So yeah, on the 22nd, we hit 33 years married. Wow, that's a long time, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like just yesterday. You learn and you live and you do things, and some things are great, some things are not so great, and everything's whatever. But you grow and you just learn to appreciate life when you spend some time with that long with someone, and we're looking forward to spending many more years until our demise. And so it's a wonderful thing. I love her dearly, and I'm proud of the fact that we've made it 33 years. It's fantastic. I love it. So anyway, there is a whole bunch of news happening, just some wild stuff over the weekend. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see it, I guess I didn't post it on YouTube. I went ice fishing this weekend, but there were no hookers. I just don't understand it. I thought, you get people out on the lake with a bunch of fish houses and stuff, and I thought for sure there'd be hookers. Now, not that I was looking to, what's the word, patronize any hookers, but there was a definite lack of hookers. And so maybe that's a good thing, because, Lady Boomer and I've been married 33 years, and I wouldn't want to do that anyway. But anyway, no, we had our pseudo biannual whatever family fishing contest with my wife's extended family, and it was a lot of fun. I made some chili, and that was a hit. And Lady Boomer made some really cool appetizers, and we went over to Auntie Mary's house, who lives on a lake in Minnesota, and we all went ice fishing. I actually caught a fish this time. Last time we had our pseudo biannual, almost every other year, but not always, fishing contest. We only caught one fish between all 10 of us who were out there on the ice. And this year we were just pulling them in. We probably, even before I got there, some of them were already out there, and they'd already caught 7 or 8 crappies and a couple perch and whatever. A lot of them, though, in this lake, they're not big enough to keep. The perch you can throw back in. The crappies you catch too deep at the depth, and they don't survive anyway. But caught a few keepers, and it was just fun. It's just fun to hang out. And of course, it was a little windy and it was cold. It was 10 degrees, so we had to have the tents up with the heaters in them. But it was fun, and we ate some good food and had a great time. So anyway, there you go. That was my weekend. Between ice fishing and an anniversary, it was a lovely weekend. I hope you all had a good weekend too. Let's get into the show. Now, first in the chat today, Mr. Cara Soldier gets the bell. There you go. Congratulations. for being first. Also, good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian here bright and early. Nice to have you. Attack Alpacas in the house. Blue-Eyed Scream. Wow, you guys, this is the group that usually comes in later, and you're all here bright and early. I love it. Good morning also, our young friend, Midnight. What's up, Midnight? And Ms. Wild Wolf. And did I freak people out? Did I start the show too early? Are you not used to me starting this early so no one's here? That's kind of funny. I'm glad you all made it. My normal start time would be 10 o'clock Eastern, even though I rarely hit the, Somnable Nation, Green Badger Outdoors. I see ya. There you are. So yeah, people are going to be slowly rolling in. So I guess I'll have some time to do some of the preliminary stuff that I do. But 13 people, 6 likes. Well, this is all the group that can hit the like button now, because it's not like you're Avocados Diabli, who just has to decide whether or not I put some cheesecake on the board up here or something. For Avocados, is Gavin Newsom considered cheesecake? Well, probably not. Anyway, so there, we'll see people roll in slowly because they're just not used to me being here this early. So let's start with, what do we start with? Oh, we'll thank the people who share the stream. That's what we'll do. Of course, usually leading off with Somnable Nation. And again, as usual, today, there we go. Thank you for posting the stream on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And then also a little, now I didn't catch this because my theme was The Jerk. If you remember, how many of you remember seeing the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin? I think the first line of the movie is the name of the show today. I was born from a family of poor black sharecroppers, which I'm making fun of Gavin Newsom because some stupid shit he said at the weekend. But anyway, but yo, Seabitch, let's go. I'm not even sure what that's from. I'm not even sure what that's from, but that's funny. Let's go. Also, Ric Flair action from Tyre Alexander. Woo! Wait, I don't even see Tyre here. Tyre, are you here yet? Well, I know you're gonna be here because you already posted the daily Ric Flair. Army of Darkness. I want to go check out that movie now. I want to check out that movie. Also, thank you, Green Badger Outdoors. Drop it a let's go. And what is this? Oh, that's a low flying plane. Holy look how low this thing goes by. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hang on a second. I'm going to put that on. Let me blow that up a little bit. Oh, can I? I don't even know if I can. Yeah, there we go. Let's blow that up. Watch this plane flying over here. Hang on a second. Okay, watch. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, jeez. Is there volume? Oh, there's no sound on that video. I mean, that thing, the air shock moved the truck. Didn't it? There's another one flying right there. Holy Moses. That's intense. Let's just say that's intense. And I don't mean like, a wigwam and a teepee. I mean, which would be 2 tenths, but it's intense. And we're not in the tents, even though it's a little tense. Yeah, I'll be here all week. Also, good morning, Unholy Blue. Midnight's boyfriend. It's Midnight's boyfriend. Also, good morning to the popes here. Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, and the writer of the daily blessing of the day, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. Today's message is blessing of the Holy Ghost. Remember that the path to hell is paved in good intentions, and the road to heaven is paved with hard choices. Be careful, because the stones of both look the same. Whoa! Whoa! That's deep. That's deep. Oh, it censored your post for a single word? What would that word be? I'm wondering what that word would be. Give me the first and last letters and see if I can figure it out. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Green Badger Outdoors, posting the scary flyover, the super scary flyover. Also, Miss Wild Wolf sharing the stream, greatly appreciated. He was born to be what? Did you? Okay, Miss Wild Wolf, because you're a little bit younger than a lot of us. Did you understand that what I was doing there with the name of the show? I'm just curious. Oh, similar. Really? I changed that word and it went through it. That's weird. Also, thank you, Green Badger Outdoors and Ms. Wild Wolf and Tyler Alexander and Sound Humble Nation for retweeting the show. Midnight, thank you for posting the show. Greatly appreciated. Oh, and there we are. Me, poor black sharecropper. Now that's not a bad AI picture of me, although it has hair, and I tend to shave my hair off, even though I can grow my hair. No, I did not. I used Grok. Well, what did I say? Well, I'm not sure what I said. What did I say? I just said use AI. Grok is AI, but it's a great photo. Me as a poor black sharecropper. What up, Rick Ashbringer? How you doing, brother? Nice to have you here. All right, let's move on. What do we got to celebrate today? Oh, this is good. I just made some of this. Today is what holidays are we celebrating today? National Banana Bread Day. I made some banana bread just not too long ago. I made banana bread with no flour. Have you ever tried that? Did you ever try to make banana bread with no flour? You just use bananas, use peanut butter, baking powder, and eggs, and you bake it, and it has the consistency of banana bread, but it has no flour in it. So if you ever have someone who's gluten-free, you can make banana bread with no flour. I also like to put chocolate chips in it. Chocolate chip banana bread. Yummy, yummy. Also, National Dog Biscuit Day. I am confused why we have a National Dog Biscuit Day, because the dogs don't even know that they get dog. They don't count days. But anyway, happy National Dog Biscuit Day. Hello. Oh, Kara Soldier was here first. National Tootsie Roll Day. Oh yeah, I love me some Tootsie Rolls. Pinocchio Day. Tell no lies, you know they're gonna grow. Also, Guyana Republic Day. National Tile Day. If you like tiling, we got to tile one of our bathrooms here soon. I need to do some new flooring. Also, sugar. Yes, I did use honey. I used honey in the I forgot about that ingredient. So it's eggs, baking powder, honey, mush up bananas, and you can add chocolate chips to it. Yes, I used honey in my no flour banana bread. I almost forgot that. Thank you for reminding me. Also, it's National Hospitality Worker Appreciation Day. Man, if you go to a restaurant or you happen to be staying in a hotel, appreciate the people who do all that work, because it's not the easiest job in the world. I spent years as a waiter and a bartender and all that, and it just well, I just tip people a lot. So anyway, Curling is Cool Day. I guess now that the Olympics are over, you can say curling is cool. I don't think curling is ever cool, but it looks pretty fun if you know what the hell you're doing. National Rationalization Day. That's what I did with Curling is Cool Day just now. National Rudy Day. If your name's Rudy. National Play Tennis Day. Play some tennis. Defend the Fatherland Day. Oh, that sounds scary. Defend the fatherland. And Diesel Engine Day, which I don't own any diesel engines, so there you go. All right, let's get into the news portion. Are there more people here yet? I haven't really looked. Also, please, I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's see. Let me. Is Johnny Boomer Tech done anything on here yet? I haven't seen him yet. I know he's here. Oh, there he is. Follow PDawg. Yeah. So anyway, if you haven't shared the stream yet, click that link at the top. Reply with a let's go and a GIF or a meme, and we'll feature them on the show on the daily like I do every day. All right, let's get to some newsy stuff. Now, when I opened up X this morning, the app formerly known as Twitter, I didn't really pay close attention to the news all weekend. And so when I opened up this morning, I got here kind of early, so I got a lot of stuff. I went through a whole bunch of stuff. And I was, this was one of the top things that popped up, and it was Gavin Newsom. So I'm gonna get this thing out of the way right now. Apparently, Gavin Newsom thinks all black people are. Well, listen to this. This is funny, and it's one of those things where a lot of my fellow conservatives of the melanated variety take the opportunity to be outraged, and I'm not outraged by what Gavin Newsom said. I just think it's funny that he would have the nerve to say something like that. Apparently, Gavin Newsom was talking to a black audience in Georgia, and he said the following. So here's what he said. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen. Here's Gavin Newsom.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you.
Now, before I even say the stupid stuff he said, because this line of reasoning, telling why I'm no better than you, is a little bit on the I'm better than you side of things. You know what I mean? By bringing this, I don't expect, he's kowtowing to black people right now. And by saying I'm no better than you, works from an assumption that he is better than you. And now I have to tell you that I'm no better than you. So I'm better than you because I'm telling you I'm no better than you. But he goes even a little further, which is kind of funny.
I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940.
So he's talking to a black gentleman in front of him who probably had an SAT in the 1200s, But he's saying, I'm no better than you because I'm dumb like you black people. I mean, that's essentially what he's saying, which is dumb. Now, granted, I know a little bit of statistics on SAT scores and stuff, but the way he says it is just so patronizing and, dare I say, I don't want to call him racist, but that's racist! If it were in any other situation where a politician who didn't have a D in front of their name said anything like that, they would be excoriated. And I'm not outraged about it. I find humor in it. I just think the hypocrisy of him saying something like that kind of cracks me up. So,
but literally a 960 SAT guy, I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Now, and this is funny too. You saying black people can't read, Gavin? What does that mean? And it's funny because remember we talked last week how he was bringing up the fact that he's dyslexic because someone said he was historically illiterate, and he tried to be outraged by saying, oh, you shouldn't tell a dyslexic person that they're illiterate, like he has a disability. Motherfucker, you are part of the Getty family. You're one of the most historically wealthy families on the planet. Shut your hole and stop trying to be, I'm just like one of you poor little black people. I got a 960 SAT. By the way, my SATs, my equivalent of the SAT score would have been in the 1300s because I had a very high ACT score. But anyway, so I'm just like, you ain't like me. If you got a 960, you're a dummy, Gavin. Good morning, Maddie. And also someone else showed up I just didn't see. Oh, Mike Savage, Blarg. What's up? So anyway.
This may be the wrong business to be in.
Yeah, it sure is. So anyway, what has happened now is this is the first thing I saw when I opened up X, is a bunch of black conservatives ripping him to shreds, and some other conservatives ripped him to shreds. For example, Vernon Jones here, who's from Georgia, saying, a white man, Gavin Newsom, comes to Georgia and tells Atlanta's black mayor, Andre Dickens, and a black audience, I am like you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. I can't read. Now, by their standards, by his standards, by Democrat standards, that's racist as hell. But who's going to call him out on it? Well, only the performative black conservatives, are going to do that. But I just think it's just funny. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but I think it's hilarious that he would go there in front of a black audience. So this is, you can never be black, but you are a racist scumbag. This bum will get a pass from the liberal white media and Democrat Party. Of course they will. Of course they'll get a pass in that. This is something they would be howling about if Donald Trump had said it. But Gavin Newsom, oh, he's a Democrat. He's one of those guys. Hey, it's okay if those white protesters were calling the black ICE guy N-bomb because they don't think like us. Royce White, did Gavin Newsom really tell a black audience he's like them because he got a 960 on his SAT? Vote for me because I'm just as poorly educated as you, or because public education system run by Democrats is so broken? What's the pitch exactly? And he adds a F you, Gavin Newsom. You're a fruitcake communist sympathizing dweeb. Next, you'll be telling us how you use a perm for your hair, too. Royce doesn't mince words. I can't stand these people. You honestly can't dislike them enough. Again, black people, we have some self-respect. People clap for their own stupidity. Look at this goof up on stage, smiling and nodding with his legs crossed. Uncross your damn legs and stop looking like the man, like a white knight who just rode into your village on a shiny steed. Black people, man, a lot of us go for anything. Frederick Douglass would be ashamed of you. A lot of you, I'm just keeping it real. Shame on you. So that's Royce White, who's running for Senate in Minnesota, which is it's a long shot in Minnesota. But I'm finding out a lot of the liberals don't like Amy Klobuchar either. So I don't know if she's going to bring people out to vote for her. Anyway, so to recap, this is someone says, Senator Schumer doesn't think black people can obtain an ID. Kathy Hochul said black kids from the Bronx don't know what a computer is. Joe Biden said that poor kids can be just as smart as the white kids. And Governor Newsom says he can relate with black people because of his low SAT scores. That's about it. There you go. It's hilarious. Holy shit. Does he carry hot sauce in his purse too? Well, I'm sure he has a purse. I just don't know if he carries hot sauce in it. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. I see you. All right. Anyway, so there's a lot of people. There's a whole bunch of people talking about that. The one of the featured articles this morning on X is about the low SAT score remark. Nicki Minaj has chimed in too. His way of bonding with black people is to tell them how stupid he is and that he can't read. This means my first read on him was correct. He's been handed so many things and put in high positions he never earned and deserved. Oh, Nicki Minaj with the fire. With the fire. Oh, good gosh. Do you want to know the craziest part of this footage that will haunt him forever? He's literally slowing his speech down and talking in a sporadic cadence. Oh, he's doing that Hillary Clinton thing. I ain't no ways tired. He's not just telling them that they are all probably stupid and probably can't read. He's literally slowing down his speech to make them understand the words that are coming out of his mouth as if they're children. That means he really believes they're slow. He's not just saying it. He didn't just misspeak. He believes it. You never notice that? Democrats do that shit all the time, though. Like, if they're talking to a black audience, they'll kind of try to use some vernacular and they'll try to slow down and try to explain things like the whole entire audience students is stupid. Whereas Republicans, they talk to black people just like they talk to anybody else, even though, they're the racist ones. Oh my God. But you never see them doing this shit, trying to be down and shit. So anyway, there's a giant subject of that featured on X today. That's hilarious. Does he carry hot sauce? That's awesome. Moving on, also featured, 960 SAT score is also trending, which means he's still better than the Hispanic Americans, if you look at the charts. It's interesting because these SAT scores have been, in general, dropping, except for one group, and that would be the Asians, which they put in yellow, which is a little questionable. But anyway, Gavin Newsom is just as dumb as the rest of us. All right, some news headlines before I get into the other Twitter topics that are happening. A big nor'easter bomb cyclone is about to blast the northeast of the United States, apparently with the largest snowstorm in years. So all those volunteer snow shovelers in New York City, they might get a few extra hours. But there's a caveat on that. We'll get to it. Millions of Americans across the Interstate 95 corridor throughout the Northeast are getting prepared to be heavily impacted by a potent nor'easter bomb cyclone that will generate large amounts of snow in a strong portion of the region beginning Sunday. So that's started happening yesterday. The forecast of snowfall have once again increased, turning into a developing system and one of the largest snowstorm risks in years for key cities in the Northeast, such as New York City. and then the system will begin to crystallize Sunday afternoon. So did anyone on the Northeast get a shit ton of snow? Rick Ashby, I'm sure Rhode Island, they've sold out of bread and milk because it's like for us in Minnesota, unless it's like more than like a foot of snow, it's just everything is, everything moves along as usual. Because when it starts snowing here, the army of snowplows out in the streets is just insane. I couldn't believe when I first moved here, because I grew up in Nebraska, and if we get a big snow, like more than 5 or 6 inches, it kind of shuts the city down, right? Here, it starts snowing. You could get a foot in the middle of the night, and by the morning, all the roads are clear, including the side streets. Sometimes they get the armies of snow plows out there with snow or plows and salt. They got three plows going like staggered along the freeway, getting the entire freeway clean. They got plows in every town. It's crazy. And so it's nothing to us to get a bunch of snow. But yeah, out in the Northeast, except for like in up in Buffalo, I'm sure it's very similar as far as them clearing snow. But if you get towards the coast, they lose their mind. And if you get it anywhere south of like the Mason-Dixon line, you might as well shut down that whole part of the country. So anyway, if you're in the East, hopefully you're out there safe. And if you got a bunch of snow, hope you can get out of it and get to wherever you need to go. Other big headlines over the weekend: the U.S. men's hockey team, won gold medal, as did the women's hockey teams for the USA. And I know this is sports, but everyone can be patriotic. It's the first time since 1980, since the Miracle on Ice, that the men's team has won gold medal, isn't it? Is that right? 46 years ago tonight. Did you believe in miracle? Yes. The U.S. Okay, that was the 1980. Fast forward to February 22nd, 2026. The U.S. men's Olympic hockey team won in spectacular fashion against the Canadian men's team in Milan, bringing home the gold for the first time since 1980 with an overtime goal from Jack Hughes, sealing the deal along with some beast mode goaltending from Connor Hellebuck from the Winnipeg Jets. So anyway, they won the gold. Apparently, the dude who scored the game-winning goal, I think in the first period, got a stick to his mouth and like broke off 2 teeth, and he just kept playing. Which, if you follow like NBA basketball and like LeBron James or something, he'll flop, or if he gets a hangnail, he's out for 3 games. This guy got busted in the mouth with a stick and lost 2 teeth, broke 2 teeth, not just lost them, broke them. Do you know how much it sucks to break a tooth in half because the nerves in there and it's all cold and shit? He just kept playing. He ended up scoring the game-winning goal. So I think you can read the story yourself. I won't get into the whole hockey thing. But there's a side story to that we'll get to in a minute. Also, over the weekend, an armed man was shot and killed after breaching Mar-a-Lago's secure perimeter. And I think I mentioned that Friday, but he'd been reported missing from his family. An armed man who was shot and killed Sunday at Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's resort in Palm Beach, Florida, has been identified as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin and reported missing by his family at about the time of the shooting occurred. Breitbart News reported that law enforcement shot and killed an armed man who had breached Mar-a-Lago's secure perimeter around 1:30 a.m. The man was carrying a shotgun and a container of gasoline. That sounds like an Eminem song. Holy shit. If you know which song I'm referencing, you'd know. Martin lived in North Carolina, and the news station noted that one of his relatives approached a Moore County Sheriff's Office deputy Sunday morning and let him know that Martin was missing. He was entered into a database for missing persons and later ID'd as the man who was shot at Mar-a-Lago. The New York Post said that a box for the shotgun was discovered in Martin's vehicle following the shooting. He allegedly entered Mar-a-Lago by driving through the gates as another vehicle left. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt used an X post to comment on the incident, saying, "In the middle of the night, while most Americans were asleep, the United States Secret Service acted quickly and decisively to neutralize a crazy person armed with a gun and a gas canister who intruded on President Trump's home. Federal law enforcement are working 24/7 to keep the country safe and protect all Americans." So We don't know. I'm sure there's more stuff that we're learning about this jackhole who self-ended by cop at Mar-a-Lago. Also, over the weekend, the Kennedy Center was vandalized in a targeted attack amid left-wing backlash over the Trump renaming. Because, now let me just preface this with something. I personally think Trump renaming the Kennedy Center is dumb. I still think it's dumb. And that doesn't mean I don't support things the president does. It doesn't mean I don't like him, whatever. I still think he's a bit of a jackass, but, he's what we need. But I don't know why he did this. This is dumb. Don't start naming shit after yourself, just like you do with your businesses. But anyway, I digress. Vandals poured a toxic chemical across the Trump Kennedy Center's outdoor ice rink early Friday morning, forcing officials to cancel that evening's performance. A brown-black substance. Oh, is it also trying to not get deported? Spread across the ice surface, causing severe damage to the outdoor arena. A gallon-sized container was left behind on the damaged rink. Officials confirmed that substance was toxic, although the exact chemical has not been publicly identified. No suspect or motive has been announced. Well, then wait a minute. Then how do we know the headline's accurate? But you can assume that. No suspect or motive has been announced, according to Fox News. The incident is under investigation by U.S. Park Police with surveillance footage provided to the FBI. So, and then there's some announcements about that. Here's the picture of what happened. They poured some stuff on there, and the split image shows the dark sediment spread across the Trump Kennedy Center's outdoor ice rink, along with skaters rehearsing before the performance was canceled. Officials say the video footage has been turned over to authorities. So, some asshole decided that they're going to go all... What's that? The group that does the oil protests. Is it something? Is it called? Is it simple as something as No More Oil or something like that? But who, always are fucking up with the art stuff. So anyway, that happened over the weekend. Other things in the headlines. Oh, I couldn't figure out why my Stop Oil or whatever they're called. All right. Also over the weekend, Trump administration has won a legal battle against California anti-ice mask law. And they're trying to pass one of those laws here in Minnesota too. But this is a decision by the Ninth Circus. Yes, the Ninth Circus, which the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals handed the Trump administration a significant win against California's anti-mask law targeting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. Last Thursday, the appellate court handed down a ruling saying the anti-ice law championed by Governor Gavin Newsom, or staying it from taking effect as litigation moves forward. The crucial ruling protects our brave men and women in the field. We will not stop fighting bad laws like these in California and across the country, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi stated following the ruling, noting the federal appeals court issued a full stay blocking California's ban on masks for federal law enforcement agents. Here's a problem. Look, I know why they wear masks, because they get targeted personally for what they do for a living, what they do for a job. Would they ban like DEA agents who are busting up drug cartels from wearing masks so they cannot be identified by the drug organizations? First of all, it's a dumb law because you're trying to impose a state law on federal law enforcement, which is probably why it's not going to happen. But also, would you allow your own undercover agents in your local law enforcement detectives to cover their faces when they're, busting up certain dangerous gangs? I don't think so. I think you would, it's just a stupid ruling. But anyway, notably, the state would uphold the lower court's earlier ruling effectively imposes a temporary administrative injunction that prevents California's anti-ice law from being enforced until the court rules on the government's motion for an injunction pending appeal. The No Secret Police Act, signed into law by Governor Newsom on September 20th, sought to ban federal agents, including ICE officers, from wearing masks except in limited circumstances. Well, what would those limited circumstances be? Oh, health reasons. Newsom claimed the measure was necessary to push back against Trump and Stephen Miller's secret police tactics, adding that it would make California the first state to prohibit such practices. And again, they're trying to pass the exact same law in Minnesota because whatever California does, our stupid legislature tries to do everything they do, often to everyone's detriment. So that's also in the news. Other things happening in the New York Post over the weekend. Apparently there was a New York teacher who has been ousted after helping kids start a Turning Point USA club at a high school. Oh, wow. Upstate New York high school teacher was allegedly sidelined after she agreed to advise a Turning Point USA chapter on campus. Jenner Fasulo, a Spanish teacher no less. Oh my God, she must be super racist. At Charles W. Baker High School in Baldwinsville, a Syracuse suburb, was placed on a paid leave of absence on January 30th, just weeks after she offered to help students establish a Club America, the high school division of Charlie Kirk's co-founded conservative group. Her supporters say the district can confirm that a staff member has been placed on administrative leave while the matter is under review. We are following established administrative and legal procedures, and we are unable to comment further or share additional details at this time, the Baldwin Central School informed parents in this February 10th letter. So they did it. Why? Why did they do this? Is it specifically for helping students start a Turning Point USA chapter? Well, you got to read further into this. Students rallied behind Fasulo, who they described in a petition demanding her return as a victim of spiritual and political discrimination. Quote, "We believe no educator should be punished for their personal beliefs," according to the appeal, which has more than 2,100 signatures as of Thursday. That's great. The teacher is being targeted not because of her performance, but for her political beliefs, Club America President Jerry Dygert said at a February 9th board meeting. Our club exists to promote political understanding through civil discourse. Removing one teacher who best embodied those values puts that mission in serious jeopardy. My classmates and I are confused as to why she is not in class. Another student rushing to Fasulo's defense said she extends her title as teacher and is considered a mentor. The wisdom and compassion that she gives to her students is unmatched. But some of the students' woke parents who think otherwise want to see Fasulo gone for good. One described Turning Point as terrifying. Because according to their Facebook post, quote, "The extremist mindset tends to affect boys and young men the most." Also in her post, she called for discussion about, quote, "potential termination," end quote, of Club America's faculty advisor. Organized hate groups have no place in our public schools. Would you want a KKK chapter? A neo-Nazi bund? What is a bund? Another parent wrote, comparing Turning Point USA to the KKK or neo-Nazis. They're special. They're really special. Hey, are we still running here? Why is this chat frozen? Did the stream get shut down? What the hell's going on here? No, I'm still live. Okay, I was just weird. Let me try something real quick. I don't know why my chat just... Anyone else having trouble in the chat at all? I'm just curious. By the way, we can get rid of this now. No, not frozen. Okay, just checking. Y'all are just so quiet today. It's amazing. All right. So yeah, I'm sorry. Comparing Turning Point to the KKK, the hyperbole is insane. So, former Republican State Senate candidate Caleb Slater met Fasulo through church and other Christian circles and has taken up her cause, saying she's used to being a sacrificial lamb to discourage any conservative organizations or opinions at the school whose classrooms are adorned with pride flags. These are students who asked for this organization to be founded, not parents or teachers, he said. Others claim the school's action had nothing to do with Turning Point and was sparked by the teachers' interaction with a student about sexual orientation. Oh, now, is that what they're going to try to say? An unnamed parent alleged that Fasulo questioned her daughter about her sexual orientation while advising another school Christian youth group called Youth Alive. These claims are unsubstantiated. The Baldwinville Central School District referred the Post to its February 10th statement. Well, I wonder if there's a February 10th statement here in this Syracuse, whatever the hell this is. Oh, you can't read it because Syracuse.com puts a firewall on it. So we'll just see if we can break that. I am not a robot. Let's see. Oh, invalid URL. What? What? The hell? Let's try this again. Copy. Ah, here it is. Let's see if there's a statement in the Syracuse paper here. At a school board meeting last week, nearly every person who spoke supported Fasulo. The comments from students and parents lasted nearly an hour and included anecdotes and description of a teacher whose students trust and turn to. The only speaker who didn't support Fasulo instead spoke out against the recent formation of Club America, a high school affiliate of Kirk's Turning Point USA. Let's see. Well, there's a lot more details and a lot more quotes in here, and it's a lot longer article if you want to get more details on that story, but I'll have that in the links today. So we're going to move on. All right. Also in the news, other headlines, the DOJ has joined a lawsuit alleging anti-white discrimination in the nation's second largest school district. The Department of Justice is stepping into a federal lawsuit accusing nation's second largest school district of illegally sorting students by race to determine funding and school admissions. If they're doing that, yeah, that's probably not cool. Hello, Ghost Wolf Pro. The Civil Rights Division filed a motion to intervene Wednesday in a case in Los Angeles Unified School District. According to the DOJ press release, the lawsuit targets the district's predominantly Hispanic, Black, Asian, other program. You know, couldn't they just put anything but white? Anyway, I mean, seriously, this district's predominantly Hispanic, Black, Asian, or other program. Well, wouldn't other include all the rest of the kids? Which classifies neighborhoods as Anglo or non-Anglo. Oh, that's what they're doing. And distributes resources accordingly. Well, they can't do that. Treating Americans equally is not a suggestion. It is core constitutional guarantee that educational institutions must follow. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a release that the Department of Justice will never stop fighting to make that guarantee a reality, including for public school students in Los Angeles. Harmeet Dillon called the classification system unlawful. So here's Harmeet Dillon talking about this.
Today, the United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division is announcing a motion to intervene in an important lawsuit challenging Los Angeles Unified School District's illegal race-based classifications of students and their communities. In Los Angeles, the amount of funding that a particular school gets and or admissions to important magnet schools that provide opportunities for students rises and falls according to the race of the students and the communities that they live in. In other words, Los Angeles classifies school districts and the areas within them as Anglo or non-Anglo. And depending on that classification, it can really affect the type of funding and education that you're entitled to. This is clearly illegal. And
I wonder, I probably shouldn't even go there, but is it because you need more, I can't believe what to say it. Is it because you need more security at the non-Anglo schools? I didn't say that out loud, did I? And that's me, a black man, saying that. I'm just, holy shit. Hello, Rockhopper, what's happening?
In 2026, we no longer stand for these types of illegal and pernicious race-based classifications. So,
and look, here's a case where you could say, because they always say, oh, you know, people of color can't be racist. But if racism is power, prejudice plus power, and the majority of the Los Angeles School District are of color, well, they're the ones who have the power, and they're the ones who are using that against other kids. So it's just, it's the idea that non-white people can't be racist. Yes, they can if they have power. You absolutely can, because that's you change that definition to prejudice plus power. Well, if the non-white people have the power and discriminate against white people, then that's racist.
But we look forward to being part of this lawsuit and to helping to vindicate the rights of all young people in the Los Angeles Unified School District and to provide them with the equal opportunity guaranteed by law. Stay tuned for further development.
But they're just fighting for, what are they fighting for, gang? They're fighting for equity. Run. All right. And then also, we were talking about the snowstorm in the Northeast, and Mayor, what's his name? Zohran Mamdani. Well, he has a unique way of trying to get snow removed from different parts of the city of New York City. He's been offering to allow people to sign up to be volunteer paid snow shovelers around the city. Not that they can just hire people to do that shit. They're calling for volunteers to become snow shoveler peoples, right? And so New York City residents, hoping to earn a little extra cash clearing snow from public spaces, can get paid to do it, but they need 3 forms of ID and copies of their ID. Not just having ID, but you have to have copies. So you basically have to pay to work in New York City. New York City residents hoping to earn extra cash clearing snow from public spaces must first produce 3 forms of identification. The requirement has drawn sharp criticism given the city's relaxed approach to voter ID. The Department of Sanitation of New York is recruiting temporary workers ahead of a major blizzard expected to dump nearly 2 feet of snow on the 5 boroughs, according to the agency's official website. Registration demands 3 categories of documentation. 2, not just 1, but 2 small photos sized 1.5 inches square, a pair of original IDs with and photocopies of those IDs, and a social security card. The paid positions offer $19.14 per hour, jumping to 28.71% hours after 40 hours in a week. Workers must be at least 18, legally authorized to work in the United States, and capable of heavy physical labor. The documentation requirement stands in stark contrast to what New York City demands from voters. The city's Board of Elections does not require most registered voters to present any identification at the polls. So they're calling it a major hypocrisy alert. And I just think it's funny because what if a homeless person who can't afford to go get 2 pictures taken, 2 original copies of an ID, and go to they don't have Kinko's anymore. What are Kinko's are UPS stores right now? They bought out anyway. You can't afford to go get 2 copies of your ID. What if you can't afford it? They're not going to let black and brown people shovel snow? What's wrong with these people?
That's crazy!
All right. Other stories important on X this morning. Oh, I've got a lot of time. It's weird how much time I have when I start the show on time. I'm just like, I've got so many tabs open. I was like, I'm not getting through any of this today. And I'm almost halfway through. It's amazing. How's everyone doing, by the way? Did anyone do any fun over the weekend? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a short Q&A. You can do some participation. What was one cool thing you did over the weekend? There you go. You can drop that in the Q&A. We'll try to catch some of those at the end of the show. All right. Back to live chat. Also, if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at PDawgKnight.live. I'll pin that to the top of the thingy-mabobber here too, aka the chat. And by the way, the Kara Soldier, that's from Friday. I forgot to clear it out. So whoever's the first one will be the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day for at least from the moment they hit the first donation today. So there we go. All right. Other things featured on X this morning. Apparently, now, this is old. I don't know why this is taking why it's coming up now, but it is interesting. This is a TikTok video from August 2025. This woman named Hiba expressed frustration that some black participants played oppression Olympics, arguing that Palestinian oppression outranks Western racism and makes visitors relatively privileged. She shared stories from the Afro-Pali Center families rejecting racism claims and locals treating all Palestinians as equal. So this is from, I remember seeing this a while back. I don't know if we ever looked at it, but basically she had a bunch of people, they went over there to work in Gaza and help people, whatever. And some of the black people that went with them, the Palestinians were calling them slaves and monkeys. And she was saying, well, they should just be able to tolerate it because their oppression in Palestine is far worse than you poor black people who are being called slaves and monkeys. Yeah, they didn't take kindly to that reasoning. Hello, Gun Fox. What's up? 4 inches of snow this round, but aren't you in Texas still? 4 inches of snow. We scoff at 4 inches. 4 inches is like a light dusting where I live. Anyway, I'm not going to play it because it's 8 freaking minutes long. I don't know if anyone clipped the main part of it, but yeah, so that's featured, one of the feature stories. Good morning, Aaron Meredith. That is Aaron Meredith, right? Yes, it is. Okay, and then another one. Apparently, Huffington Post posted this. Apparently, they have an article. If waving the American flag or chanting USA turns you off right now, you're not alone. To which this Jimmy's seafood restaurant, I think, gave the most appropriate response. The word, go fuck yourselves. And so they're getting some kudos from some people. So Jimmy's Famous Seafood responded bluntly to a HuffPost post questioning the yucky feeling of cheering USA at the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics amid cognitive dissonance from national pride and political tensions. The reply exploded online, gaining millions of views after the men's and women's hockey teams swept gold with overtime wins over Canada. Oh, Canada, you lost your hockey games. In the first U.S. hockey sweep in Olympic history, Jimmy's followed up by offering free crab cakes for life for both teams. Hey, I wonder if you need an ID to get free crab cakes for life. I could go to Jimmy's and just say, hey, yeah, I won a gold medal with the Olympic hockey team. Yeah, I was the team manager, and yes, I don't have any ID, but it's Baltimore. You don't need ID for anything here, right? Anyway, they offered free crab cakes for life for both teams. Saw followers surges and lots of orders came in, and worked to handle the overwhelming support while restoring their site because people, I guess, went crazy. So I'm just curious. Let's see, Jimmy's Famous Seafood. For bringing home the gold and delivering an overwhelming sense of pride throughout America, we hereby grant free crab cakes for life to all members of the 2026 USA men's and women's Olympic hockey teams. This applies to both dine-in and shipping for all time. So they'll ship them out to them too. Oh my, God bless America. And Johnny Hockey forever. That's hilarious. Yeah, so they were big supporters of the hockey team. Granddad watching me support a business I've never heard of simply because they digitally dunk on the Huffington Post. Now I'm curious though. I'm curious. This person says, I'm never deleting this app. Oh, here's a little more. This is another post. So if we got to go fuck yourself. So somebody replied to that. America is a cesspool right now. Seeing the flag makes me cringe, but I can still root for my country to be united. Jimmy Seafood says, change your tampon. Oh my God. Oh, I might just have to do an order some crab cakes online from Jimmy's Seafood. So let me see. I want to see what the article that they were responding to from the Huffington Post. Or did the Huffington Post? No, Huffington Post left it up. So here's the article from the Huffington Post. there's a name for the feeling of discomfort you're feeling right now watching the Olympics. Yeah, it's called You're a Little Bitch. While President Donald Trump's deportation agenda separates families and federal agents detain 5-year-olds and killed unarmed civilians. Y'all motherfuckers are going to milk this forever. Look, I'm sad that those people are dead. I'm sad that the father decided to take his 5-year-old with him when he was being detained. American athletes are winning medals on behalf of the nation at the Olympics right now. This whiplash between pride for the United States competitors and a national shame for the federal government is common. Even U.S. Olympians competing in the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympic Games in Italy feel ambivalent about representing the Stars and Stripes. And then they go to Hunter Hess, who trashed the country, but then said he was excited to ski for the country, but then he did a shitty job. Hi, Greg Rogers. What's up? They have a great person doing their social media. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The cognitive dissonance of rooting for U.S. sports while hating the U.S. government is so common that it continues to be one of the main topics I hold space for in therapy. Los Angeles-based licensed clinical social worker Amy Monterosa says, as we continue to witness national and global atrocities in real time, oh my God. They are so just flippant with the terminology they use. I'm getting tired of it. It's like, next thing you know that they're gonna start calling this a genocide or some shit like they did with in it's like they try to use the most outrageous, outlandish descriptions of the, by using the word atrocities. Why is it an atrocity to attempt to deport people who are in your country illegally when we're not? I mean, other countries do it. We've been doing it for years. We've done it as long as I've been alive. Now, what's strange is we haven't had people who go out in the streets and try to stop people from doing that job, federal law enforcement do that job, and they put themselves in harm's way and bad things happen that I will not celebrate those bad things happen, but they are just bad things that happen in fact. And to call it atrocities is insane. But see, they tell you half of a story. And like with the kid, their father left the kid there. What are they supposed to do? Well, that little 5-year-old should just, fuck that kid. We don't have to do anything with him. We're just going to go chase his dad. We're not going to make sure that kid's okay. That just got abandoned by his father because he was running away from ICE agents. And then they'll say, oh, they're detaining the child, using him as bait. No, the father left him there, and we want to make sure the kid's okay. They took him to fucking McDonald's. It's just insane. I'm not going to read this bullshit from the HuffPost because I'm just going to be pissed off if I read it. But you can read it if you want to. It's in the links today. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Kash Patel. Speaking of the Olympics, speaking of rooting for America right now. Well, apparently Kash Patel was over in Italy, and he and people are mad at him because he was celebrating with the USA hockey team after their historic win. So someone here, Kash Patel is celebrating USA hockey, his team historic win. Democratic senator sipping margaritas with foreign gang member and alleged human trafficker and wife beater. Guess which ones Democrats are more upset over? Okay, now they slyly placed these fake margaritas in front of these guys, and that was golden as far as trolling. But Kash Patel says unity, sacrifice, attitude, what it takes to be the best in the world. These men live and breathe it. Now Team USA are gold medal champions, legends, standing on the shoulders of giants. Thank you for representing the greatest country on earth and the greatest game ever created. I didn't know Kash Patel was a hockey fan. When do they play hockey in India? Or is he just, well, obviously he's a United States citizen, grew up here, but I'm just curious, when did he become such a huge hockey fan? So there's pictures of the locker room. There's the Team USA with Kash Patel out there with the flag. And they don't seem so mad about Kash Patel being there. So good for them. And somehow they let Kash into the locker room at the after the game. So good for him. Now, granted, there's some pretty pissed off liberals about talking about this. Wait, Kyle Seraphin, enjoy it while you can. Is he a husband, dad, veteran broadcaster, whistleblower, recovering FBI agent, bacon cheeseburger nationalist, inquires what sarcastic remarks? Enjoy it while you can. I'm not sure what that means. I don't appreciate you wasting my taxpayers' dollars to go there. How do you know that he wasted any taxpayer dollars to go there? Why are you assuming this? Because they're saying, oh my God, they cost $400,000 for him to go there. Norway has joined the chat. Now go cry. I don't even know what that means. You talking about medal counts? I don't care about that. Nobody gives a fuck about the Winter Olympics. I don't. Why is the FBI director in the locker room? Why were you in between Gretzky and Ovechkin? It's great that you're a hockey fan, but I really dislike that you use your office to worm your way into these celebrations. Because I don't know. Could he have been there if he weren't the FBI director? I don't know. My patience is gone with Kash Patel. Now, I sure understand why some conservatives might be pissed off about him being there. I'm happy for the U.S. hockey team, but Kash isn't doing shit as he promised. Kash is flying around on the FBI's jet we pay for to Italy to watch the USA hockey game and party like a frat boy. Isn't it? I voted for POTUS 3 times. Kash Patel and Bondi need to be removed. Well, I understand that sentiment. Why is he there? But again, Kash Patel is the director of the FBI. He's not an investigator. He directs the FBI. I don't care if he goes and does this. Do other people get to go places and see things happen? Sure. I do have questions about how he's doing his job, though. So I can understand that. America, please arrest the pedophiles, Kash Patel. Oh, the poor guy just can't have fun. Now, to be fair, and the director of the FBI is also trending. Yes, our director of the FBI loves America and loves hockey. You're a bunch of whiny internet trolls if you're complaining about him being there to support the USA. Okay, so there's some different sentiments about it. But also, people are mentioning that Jill Biden, they spent $400,000 to send her to the, I believe, the Summer Olympics back in in Paris recently. So, and there she is with Flavor Flav. So, whatever. You know what? Look, can we remember that public officials are human beings who sometimes just like to do shit on their own time? And if he's doing it on his own time and still doing his job at home, I don't give a shit. So interesting, but not interesting. John Davidson is trending. Oh my gosh. This is another traumatic event for us black folk. So John Davidson, if you don't know the name, he is he's an activist on things about Tourette syndrome. There's people who have Tourette syndrome, right? And let me see if I can find a good post of this. John Davidson today. My thoughts are with John Davidson today. Tourette sufferers and campaigners. He's working hard to raise awareness on a condition that makes people shout horrible things. It happened to him last night at the BAFTAs. Siri, what does BAFTA stand for? The British Academy of Film and Television Arts. It's basically the British Oscars, so to speak, to make it simple. Okay. He was at the British Oscars or whatever. And Mr. Davidson, who has Tourette syndrome and is an activist about Tourette syndrome, whatever. I'm having Tourette syndromes myself right now. Apparently, when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage, uncontrollably shouted out some N-bombs while they were on stage. And now it wasn't the only thing that popped out of his mouth during the show. When other people were accepting awards, he was blurting out "fuck you" and all kinds of other shit, right? And so here's what happened. John Davidson has Tourette's. He has zero control over his outbursts, none. He also shouted "shut the fuck up" during Sarah Putt's speech and "fuck you" during the Best Children and Family Film Award acceptance. But you don't hear us crying. Okay, this is Emery King saying this. You don't hear us crying about these because we have IQs that allow us to understand the neurodivergence. Sorry about your brain. Because one person wrote this: you don't get to police how black people react to racism. And also, John Davidson is a racist and his Tourette's is not an excuse. Fuck him. Yeah. John Davis from the TV show. That's incredible. No, I don't even know who this guy is for sure. I can't stop thinking about Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo's face when they were called a slur. You literally saw the spark disappear from their eyes. Now the production designer of Sinners is saying John Davidson said slurs 3 times to black people last night. Well, he said slurs all over the place. He's telling people "fuck you" and this and that. Let's see. I keep trying to write about what happened at the BAFTAs, and I can't find the words. The situation is almost impossible, but it happened 3 times last night, and one of the 3 times was directed at myself on the way to dinner after the show. And a 3rd time at a black woman. I understand and deeply know why this is an impossible situation. I know we must handle this with grace and continue to push through, but what made the situation worse was the throwaway apology if you were offended. At the end of the show, of course, we were offended, but our frequency, our spiritual vibration is tuned to a higher level than what happened. I am not steel. She spelled it like stealing something as opposed to steel as the metal. This did not bounce off me, but I exist above it. I can't take away from who I am as an artist. Okay, I don't know who Hannah here is either, but lots of people are just basically saying him, "fuck you" for having involuntary outbursts. In one evening, John Davison's involuntary outbursts at the BAFTAs have done more to raise worldwide awareness of Tourette's than anything else. I really hope that people will now go and see the movie. I swear, I laughed and I cried. Such a beautiful film, which I'm not going to play that clip. Eric Lamont, Tourette's does not make you blurt out slurs. Being racist makes you blurt out slurs. Respectfully, fuck John Davidson. I'm tired of black people having to turn the other cheek, and during Black History Month at that. Well, it's not Black History Month in Great Britain, so look. And here it is, TMZ. Tourette syndrome activist John Davidson was heard shouting the N-word during the Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo's presentation at the BAFTA Film Awards on Saturday. Let's see. I'm not going to play a TMZ clip. There's goofy about this shit too. So anyway, so that happened. Hello, Selected Boy. Yeah, boy. All right, we can move on. Hi, K-Shell too. Hi, Kirsten. I saw that your Abby looks very similar to Greg's when I'm not actually concentrating. So anyway, also news. Oh, Tourette's is trending because of it too. We can skip that one. And BAFTA is trending because of that too. Heart goes out to Delroy Lindo this award season, who was wrongly called an emerging artist during an interview by mindless influencer, despite being an acting veteran. Delroy Lindo's been around forever. He's a great actor. Who called him an emerging actor? Holy shit. And then facing a racial slur on the BAFTA stage while presenting and taking it on the chin. He's always been a man of grace, patience, and honor, even when faced with demoralizing and belittling comments publicly. Well, yeah, anyone who says Delroy Lindo hasn't been around forever. There you go. PDawgKnight, did you cover the New Mexico war between government and cartel forces? Oh, we're getting there. I've got a little extra time today. And the BBC is being criticized also because on that broadcast of the BAFTAs, apparently they have a 2-hour delay on the They have a 2-hour delay on their broadcast. And apparently, let's see, someone says, let me get this straight. There's a 2-hour delay between the BAFTA event and the BBC airing it. In that time, they managed to edit out a woman saying Free Palestine, but didn't edit out the man with Tourette's shouting the N-word at 2 black people. Is that where we were? I don't know. Akinole Davis's Free Palestine remark was cut for BBC coverage of the BAFTAs. You know what? Yeah, I don't know why they would have done one or the other. I don't know if it matters. I just, the fact that BBC censored out Free Palestine during the winter speech by black filmmakers, but kept the racial slur used against a fellow black creatives really irks me. Well, it wasn't used against them. It's involuntary thing that happens to people with Tourette's syndrome. Whatever. I'm not making excuses for them. State of the Union is trending. Apparently, there's a bunch of Congress critters and senators who are going to boycott the State of the Union. And Mark Ruffalo, the actor, is sponsoring State of the Swamp alternative event at the National Press Club, where the alternative whatever response to the State of the Union will be held, and there's going to have a whole bunch of. One of the people doing a response is, who was it? It was somebody from Minnesota. Was it? It wasn't our governor. It wasn't the lieutenant governor. It wasn't the attorney general. I can't remember who they chose from Minnesota to do this, but there's a star-studded lineup for this alternative State of the Union rebuttal to the State of the Union. Robert De Niro, Senator Ron Wyden, he's a piece of shit. Mayor Jacob Fry. Oh, it was Jacob Fry. He was one of them. Governor Matt Meyer, Mayor Brandon Johnson, rock star Stacey Abrams. Oh, I can't wait. Don Lemon and Jim Acosta. Oh, all just total fair and balanced people. Mark Ruffalo, Representative Eric Swalwell, Marianne Williamson, who most of the Democrats hate because she keeps running for president. Who else? Dan Goldman, Mehdi Hassan, Tom Arnold. Oh, God, thank God, Tom Arnold. George Conway, Joyce Vance, Mehdi Hassan, Representative Jason Crow. This is like the murderer's row of pieces of shit. Anyway. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I should. The list here is just incredible of just TDS people. So anyway, they're going to have their own alternative State of the Union, and a bunch of people are not going to the State of the Union. Oh, Brian and Krasenstein. Let's do our daily Krasenstein. We haven't done one for a while, which means it's not daily. Ed Krasenstein says, breaking. Trump is building a barrier outside the U.S. Capitol ahead of his State of the Union address. Meanwhile, on January 6, he celebrated in a tent as his supporters took part in the seditious conspiracy to overturn the election by breaking into the Capitol. He is, quote, America's Hitler, end quote, like J.D. Vance said. Fucking hell, Ed. Shut the absolute fuck up. So anyway, is that tonight? When is it? What's the date on this? It's tomorrow night, State of the Union. So who knows? I might even stream during the State of the Union just for the hell of it. So anyway, yippee. All right, then let's just go through some other headlines and then we're going to get out of here. This is in Breitbart. Exclusive GOP strategist Mark Bednar says Trump's State of the Union is opportunity to celebrate everything good and right about the United States. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Now, one thing the Democrats are not going to do this time is they're not going to sit there with those stupid signs. You remember that? They were all holding up these little, like, these church fan signs of, lie, this and that, whatever. They're not going to do that this year because they apparently they did some poll testing on it and found out that people thought they looked like idiots. So that's a good thing. Anyway, this is glazing Trump's State of the Union, and there you go. You can read that on your own. Also, and then so State of the Union is still trending, and what else? Oh, let's talk about Puerto Vallarta. Gunfox asked about that. So in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta, there was a Well, let's just put it this way. The Breitbart headline, Mexico erupts in flames after death of largest terrorist cartel boss El Mencho. This is crazy. Cartel gunmen have begun carrying out terrorist attacks in various states in Mexico in response to the death of the country's most powerful terrorist cartel leader, Nemesio El Mencho Oseguera Cervantes. Mexico's government confirmed the death of the cartel boss, which resulted from an enforcement operation. And as of 1:10 p.m. this morning, Mexican officials confirmed the death of El Mencho early Sunday afternoon. Oh, that was the day before. Officials reported that El Mencho had died during a targeted enforcement operation where the government forces killed 4 gunmen. Officials claim El Mencho was among those killed in the gun battle. So, and here, this is the original article. The chaos began Sunday early morning when cartel gunmen began setting up blockades in 4 key states that are controlled by El Mencho's terrorist organization, Cartel Jalisco New Generacion, one of several cartels that have been designated as foreign terrorist organizations by the United States government. The gunmen deployed road spikes and carjacked vehicles, set fires to buildings, and brought several cities to a standstill in the border state of Tamaulipas, as well as the central state of Guanajuato and the western state of I don't know my Mexican states, Michoacan and Jalisco. Soon after, states like Nayarit, Colima, and others reported similar chaos. The hyper-violent reaction follows a high-profile military operation carried out in the state of Jalisco, where military forces reportedly killed El Mencho during a clash with his gunmen. Several top news organizations in Mexico began reporting the death of El Mencho on Sunday morning. The death of a top cartel figure has not been confirmed by Mexico's government, except it has now. Breitbart Texas consulted with key sources with the Mexican government and with various U.S. agencies that are a part of the intelligence community, which revealed that the current information and available intelligence point to a strong possibility that the military forces killed the elusive figure, which we have confirmed now. As violence erupted across the region, the U.S. Embassy and consulates in Mexico issued a security warning, quote, due to ongoing security operations and related road blockages and criminal activity, U.S. citizens in the named location should shelter in place until further notice. Well, so that turned into, apparently the cartel shut down the airports in Puerto Vallarta, stranding lots of Americans and Canadians. So that was trending earlier, Puerto Vallarta. If you go to Puerto Vallarta for vacation and a deadly turf war randomly erupts between a cartel and the Mexican government, and the cartel takes over the airport, stranding you there, rest assured the New York Times won't report about it. Did not make the front page of the New York Times on Sunday. Go figure. And here's a bunch of articles that they were talking about. So yeah, a lot of people were stranded in Puerto Vallarta. You could someone posted video of what's happening not that far down the beach from them.
I don't know if you can see that, but I can see the flames underneath that black smoke. Major flames there, huge plumes everywhere. Another big one over there. Another one directly behind this resort we're staying at.
And these people just hanging out on the beach during this.
Surrounded by this right now. Really intense scene happening here in Puerto Vallarta. Hopefully we're able to get out tomorrow, but the airports are shut down as it is right now.
Oh, he sounds Canadian.
Military may be getting involved soon.
So anyway, so yeah, I'm watching this. Here's another one here. Public streets. Never forget the Democrats allowed for a wide open border, allowing cartels a limited presence in America. Public streets are blocked due to burning cars, and car bombings are happening across Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, because of cartel violence. Oh, geez, look at this. Reports are circulated of prisoner escape at the Ixtapa prison in Puerto Vallarta as the security situation in Jalisco continues to deteriorate amid CJNG retaliation tied to El Mencho killing. And there's a whole long post on this. And U.S. citizens are being urged to shelter in place in parts of Jalisco as cartel violence and roadblocks flare, with smoke visible around Puerto Vallarta following the reported hit on the CJNG leadership. So yeah, craziness going on in Puerto Vallarta. And then I think the Daily Wire is talking about the shelter in place order. Americans being asked by the State Department to remain sheltered in place in parts of Mexico due to civil unrest following the successful killing of Jalisco New Generation cartel leader Nemesio El Mencho Oseguera Cifuentes. I have to say it slowly so I say it correctly. So yeah, this shit's wild. Shit is wild. So is that anything else, Gunfox, I'm missing? Al Green will make an ass of himself again. Oh, well, maybe. Oh, that's from Kara Soldier. All right. Other stuff in PJ Media. Oh, this is, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. I maybe showed it last week. Apparently this Democrat congressional candidate refused to say he'd deport a single illegal alien. I keep asking the question, and I want to ask immigration enforcement protesters. I keep saying, well, who can we deport? Who can we deport? Well, apparently this guy has no answer.
Why we have to abolish ICE, we have to abolish the Customs and Border Patrol in the way that they currently exist and replace them with...
Abolish ICE, abolish the Customs and Border Patrol. So wait, we shouldn't have nobody at the border guarding the border?
Something that actually does the work that we need for them to do, which is why we need a Congress that works and that is effective at holding these people in this administration accountable. I'll tell you what the work is not. The work is not killing American citizens.
You said the work we need them to do. I'm interested in your opinion. What is the work that we need them to do?
Absolutely. One, the work is not killing American citizens.
No, what is the work not what we not need them to do. What is the work we need them to do? He's answering a negative.
Need them to do.
Well, first, let's look at what they don't need to do. They don't need to go into communities like Memphis,
Do they
Tennessee,
need to deport illegal aliens?
where they're currently terrorizing and traumatizing our communities. What we also need to make sure is that we have elected officials who are creating a pathway of opportunity for people who are currently undocumented.
Do we need a federal law enforcement agency to deport illegal aliens, yes or no?
We do need a federal law enforcement agency that deals with immigration, that doesn't kill people.
To deport illegal aliens,
what we
yes
do
or no?
also need is laws that make sure that people who are undocumented...
Is there a single illegal alien that you would deport?
You know, this is what I want you to focus on.
Is there one?
I want you to focus on. There are a lot of people in this country and in this community, in our communities, that have done so much to make them better, and we need to be prioritizing how we create opportunity.
Is this the Democratic position for 26?
The
That there are
Democratic
no
position
illegal
in
aliens that should be
26,
deported?
The Democratic position in 26 is that we don't terrorize American citizens.
Again, that's my question. Is there anyone he would deport? He won't answer that question. Yes, we should not have our agencies killing American citizens. Absolutely agree with that. Or terrorizing neighborhoods. Sure, I'll go with that too. Okay, I think we've made some mistakes in how we do it. But are there illegal immigrants that you would deport? And this guy will not answer that question. And that seems to be the Democrat solution. And again, I'm more than happy to criticize what ICE has done in some places, or how they've done some things, some Fourth Amendment violations. Okay, who can we deport is the question, and he will not answer this question.
We don't terrorize undocumented
If you were advising
people,
Democrats in 26, would you advise them to answer this question this way, that you can't say there is a single illegal alien that should be deported by the federal government?
What is shocking to me is that you think you can narrow the challenges of
It's not narrow, it's broad.
immigration.
There's 20 million
that you can
here.
challenge the issues of immigration into one yes or no question when the reality is...
No, it's just part of the question, but this is the part of the question that they refuse to answer. That's what drives me nuts. Now, I'm sure the guy sitting next to him might have somebody, because, they're mad because, you're not only deporting the most dangerous criminals, but y'all don't even want us to deport them. You won't even give them over to ICE if you didn't have to. That's what's crazy.
The policies and practices
should we follow the law is the yes or no
administration have led to the deaths of American citizens and has not produced...
Yes, it's led to the death of 2 American citizens who put themselves in harm's way, and we can argue that part all day long. But that wasn't the question. Who would you deport? And he doesn't have an answer for who would you deport. And that's the question I've been asked since January. Since the beginning of January, since this whole thing started. I've been saying, well, wait a minute. If we can't deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the gang member, who can we deport? If you're mad that we're deporting people who have standing deportation orders, we can't deport them either. They already have you want to give everyone due process, but we can't deport people who have standing deportation orders either. Who can we deport? That's the question. And that's the question that this guy refuses to answer. All right. Let's move on here. We've got a little time left. And this is the same. I have that clip singled out here. Watching Scott Jennings destroy a DEI. Don't call him a DEI, Democratic State Representative. He's voted on by his constituents. He's not DEI. If you get elected by your constituents, you're not DEI. You just happen to be a black guy in a district. They voted for you. Anyway, he's one of those Jasmine Crockett types. He was a mild-mannered, intelligent person until they got into politics and started code switching. Oh yeah. Oh, this dude is this guy's a Nepo baby, but he started code switching once he got elected in Tennessee. Let's see. James Greer says Trump still has very durable tools for terror. So the Supreme Court over the weekend ruled that a part of the rationale or whatever that Trump was using to impose tariffs on other countries was apparently unconstitutional. And so now the Trump administration has decided to use a different form that would be within the law that they said not. The Supreme Court decided President Donald Trump exceeded his powers under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act in a 6-3 ruling issued Friday, which struck down his use of the act to impose reciprocal tariffs. Greer reminded Martha Radaz that the administration had the authority for tariffs under other laws aside from the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And here's the quote: "We know the president is imposing these 15% tariffs across the board around the world, but President Trump has said if the Supreme Court struck down his tariffs, we would be screwed, and it would be the biggest threat to history of the United States' national security, and that we would be financially defenseless," Radaz said. How do you see that? Well, his answer, and the president addressed this in his press conference on Friday. He said that since we are looking at this and the possibility of having this tool removed, we had a look for backup plans, and we found ways to really reconstruct what we're doing. Greer responded. Now, it doesn't have to be the same flexibility that the president had under the previous authority that he was using, but it gives us very durable tools that allows us to do investigations, implement tariffs where needed, and provide a lot of leverage and a lot of protection for American industries. So, citing Section 122, he announced a flat 10% global tariff in a Friday press conference hours after the Supreme Court ruling was released. Section 232 tariffs are those authorized by the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 and are used to protect industries crucial for national defense. Section 301 tariffs are authorized under the Trade Act of 1974 to address unfair trade practices and violation of trade deals. So now he's going to use different sections of the law to impose tariffs and see if they go after that too. Other headlines as we round it out today. Trump raises tariffs to 15% after SCOTUS ruling. We've got that. You can read more detail on what I just said earlier. Daily Caller, the Washington Post editorial board, of all places, has mocked Zohran Mamdani for facing harsh reality in less than 2 months. The Washington Post editorial board mocked Mamdani and his proposed tax hikes on Wednesday, arguing that he admitted his city has a spending problem. But Mamdani proposed a $127 billion budget for the next fiscal year, which is larger than the budget of 47 states, and would increase taxes more than 3 million on more than 3 million residents in the city. The editorial board said Mamdani was admitting that his constituents would have to pay a price in order to fund his policies. Oh, shocker. That's a shocker. I can't believe that he's offering free buses and free groceries and all this other stuff that, oh my God, somebody might have to pay for that. It's incredible. Their board said the reality is that Americans may like the idea of free stuff, and it's how socialists win elections, but they are less excited about having to pay for it. They're even less excited when they live in a state that ranks at the very bottom of the Tax Foundation State Tax Competitive Index, the board wrote. And so there's more. But the fact that the Washington Post The Washington Post criticized a Democrat. Oh my God. Well, he's a socialist, so he's not really a Democrat, but whatever. Yeah, you got to pay for it. You can't always get what you want. And then you find some time, you just might find you're going to have to tax the hell out of everybody to get what you wanted them to get for free. Yeah, I wrote that. Also in legal insurrection, purges of conservatives and pro-Israel faculty have very few to speak up for Jewish students. This is just an editorial on, it was his William Jacobson, who runs Legal Insurrection, went to a February 20th U.S. Civil Rights Commission's public comment session on anti-Semitism, and he talked about how at the university near you, they pretty much purged anyone who doesn't believe in free Palestine and all of their shit. So thank you, Exile Bolshevism. Anyway, so that's an article there. In American Thinker, there's a great article on how the Democrat gubernatorial election rigging in California is starting to make California politicians nervous. So they have all these people running for governor in California, right? They got a whole bunch of them running on the primary. And the way California does the whole primary thing is, well, they don't have, you don't win, you don't get on the final ballot by party. You get in by the top 3 vote getters. And right now there's so many Democrats and so few Republicans, they might actually have a Republican in the top 3 vote getters this time. And so the Los Angeles Times is fretting over that. Oh my God, we might have a Republican on the ballot. Leaders in the California Democratic Party, along with liberal activists and local power brokers, are openly expressing fear that their crowded field of candidates running for governor may splinter the vote and open the door for a surprise Republican victory in November. Oh no! Wait a minute, let me try it again. Oh no! Because of those concerns, the Democrats lagging at the bottom of the pack are being urged to drop out of the race to ensure the party's political dominance in statewide elections in 2026. California Democrats are prepared to do what's required, State Party Chairman Rusty Hicks told reporters at the California Democratic Party annual convention on Friday. We are ready and willing and able to do what's required to ensure we have a strong candidate coming out of the primaries to do what's required in November. In other words, they're going to start doing what they did in the 2024 presidential election, just getting people to drop out, Joe Biden, and they're going to install whoever they want. So, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's a pretty funny story if you want to read the whole thing. PJ Media also, AOC, remember she had her little dumb shit moment over in the German something security conference or whatever the hell she was doing over there. Well, she's a little bit she's a little bit mad that people are making fun of her. And it's not just people on the right making fun of her. Everybody is ripping her to shreds over her, well, let's just say her lack of knowledge and, well, just being stupid. So she got on Instagram and decided to lash out at the people making fun of her. Here's that.
If you think that I don't understand foreign policy because out of hours of discourse about international affairs,
Okay, hold on. I know what she's going to say here. And let's just say here, AOC, honey, listen to me. I know you're watching. It wasn't just you made one mistake. You sounded like an idiot all weekend. So just let you know. Anyway, let's finish.
Pause to think about one of the most sensitive geopolitical issues that currently exist on Earth. I'm afraid the issue's not my understanding.
Is that her boyfriend snoring in the background? What the hell is that? Yeah, AOC, you made an idiot of yourself all weekend. Sorry.
But rather, the problem is perhaps you've gotten adjusted to a president that never thinks before he speaks.
Is it just me? Or does she look like she's in tears? Or does she just look like a donkey? I don't know. That's an unfortunate pause. Yeah. Oh, is she drunk? Is that what it is? Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez traveled to Munich Security Conference with big ambitions and came home with a reputation problem. The trip was supposed to bolster her foreign policy credentials ahead of her future Senate or presidential run. Instead, it turned into a masterclass of unpreparedness, and now she's doing damage control in the worst way possible. A tearful late-night Instagram rant. And a little bit drunk, too. I'm a little bit drunk, and I really need you now to shut the fuck up. She's appearing in an emotional video, AOC appearing to hold back tears, pushed back against critics who saw her face plant in Munich, convinced she had no idea what she was talking about. Her defense, it's not her, it's you who's the problem. If you think you don't understand foreign policy, okay, no, you just don't. You're a lightweight who needs to be putting back on the waitress apron. I'm sorry, you're not smart. They give you talking points, and you don't always remember them, and sometimes you forget. So shut the fuck up. And then finally, in Tennessee, Gavin Newsom sprints to the far left. So now Gavin Newsom's on his countrywide tour. I guess he's promoting a book, and so this is just an article about how he's now also, depending on the audience, like very Hillary Clinton-esque, espousing things that he may or may not believe in. And this time he's espousing some really left-wing ideas of, that we need to fundamentally change the system and blah, blah, blah. You can read about that in the Daily Wire. Also in the Daily Wire, he's also laughing off a potential face-off with Kamala in 2028. That's fate if it happens. I don't think people are ready to give Kamala another chance. Here's what he said specifically.
Kamala Harris, you write about the fact that you've been friends with her for a very long time. You came up together.
Whoa. Did you see him roll his eyes? Wait, look at his face when she mentions Kamala Harris. Watch him roll his eyes. Holy shit, listen. Watch, right?
You write about the fact that you've been friends with her for a very long time.
Right there, do you see? Yeah, I got to talk about her too. I don't really want to talk about her.
You came up together, and you talk about your parallel careers. Yeah. She was prosecutor, California DA, and senator. You were San Francisco mayor, lieutenant governor, and governor. What happens if and when those parallel careers intersect and collide?
Well, I'm San Francisco.
He's laughing at it.
Now she's LA, so we're
talking about
a little bit. There's a little distance.
Wait! Did he just say she's San Francisco and he's LA?
Now she's LA, so we're
parallel careers intersect and collide.
Well, I'm San Francisco now. She's LA, so we're
talking
a
about
little bit. There's a little.
Except she was he's the San Francisco. She was San Francisco too. She was Willie Brown's friggin' fucking whatever. He was a bunch of things to Willie Brown. Uh-oh. Yeah. Ew. Anyway.
Distance between the two of us. That's fate will determine that. And I've never gotten in the way of her ambition. Ever. I haven't. And I don't imagine I would in the future.
Except in 2028.
Well, if you run against each other for president.
That's fate. I don't know.
Ooh, she doesn't look happy. This is one of those interviews where she doesn't look happy. She just like, she must be a Kamala Harris fan.
You can only control what you can control. I think this entire book is that fundamental lesson. And this notion of controlling what you control, taking responsibility for what you control is a big part of what.
Oh, he's so smooth. He has an uncanny ability to make saying nothing sound like it makes sense. Because he didn't say shit right there. He did banged it right off. Said nothing.
Try to communicate in this book. That's the third thing. It's like how this book will be received.
Yeah, well, because you're a slimy sleazeball, slimeball, motherfucking slimy mother slimy fucker. Slimy. It's interesting. So the latest polls regarding the country's approval of Donald Trump were not good, okay? Except they're still better than the Democrats. They still trust Donald Trump more than they trust the Democrats. There's a whole article on this. The poll numbers were not good for anything except that the fact that Americans hate Democrats more. So you can read that one. And then finally, legal insurrection. Apparently, there's going to be a protest at the Nazi concentration camp at Buchenwald by pro-Palestinian groups at the Buchenwald Memorial, the former Nazi concentration camp in Weimar, Germany. According to a report from Israeli media outlet Ynet Global, the demonstration is scheduled to coincide with the April 11th ceremony marking the camp's liberation by Allied forces in 1945, where more than 56,000 prisoners died at Buchenwald during the World War II. So apparently they're going to have a pro-Palestinian protest at that ceremony. Yeah, that's appropriate. So, all right. I have a few more people to thank for sharing the show, including Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. I'm not putting these on the board right now, and a couple others. Thank you so much. Oh, what's this? Oh, wait. Oh, someone followed me. Okay, cool. So that's it. I'm going to call it a day. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. You are wonderful human beings. I hope that you have a lovely Monday. I am going to drop some links in the chat. Also, the aggregator's even way more full. Whoop. Con tab has been updated. You still use up tab, story or tab. Okay. Yeah, thanks for joining me. What the hell? What? Okay, I don't need this. I don't need this. All I want to do is open that one. After restoring tabs, remove them from your list. Yes, keep it that way. All right, that's what I want to do. Oh, they changed this. Oh, fuck. How do I use this now? How do I can't share this list. Restore all, more. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, good Lord. It's asking me a whole bunch of stuff here that I haven't had to do before. Wait, no! Share, allow, open a link, please. Holy shit, this is a lot more work than it was. All right, congratulations, USA Hockey. Yes, thank you, Select a Boy. And here are today's links. Oops. Holy shit, here's the link to the links. There you go. All the things we did today, plus more. And I going to Ace Spades blog today. There's so much stuff that I didn't even open up that I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to read that one. Oh, I want to read that one. I want to read that one too. I want to read that one. So anyway, that's it. I got to go. Thanks. Have a great day. My name is PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Oh, I almost hit end stream. There we go.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.